Alright, you guys didn't see that. I fucked up. It was just a small little mistake. Okay, no, everything's back to normal. I'm gonna be quiet. Hold on. And go. Bass drop. What's up, everybody? How you guys are doing? All 0 of you. How's it happening? No one's ever here that early. It's okay. I understand. Maybe Edward's cool. Maybe myself. But anyways, yo. Chad Attack here. Double Toast pre-show. Sunday service. We're going to be starting in about 5 minutes from now. But no, Corey, do some more prepping for Fear Street. Part 1 and 2. 2 just came out 2 days ago. But we're going to be talking about that as well as spoiler talk for Black Widow and Wendy Williams. Fuck it up again. But we're not going to talk about Wendy Williams. We're going to talk about good old Black Widow and some other things. But what is up there, Alan? Shake the reaction beforehand. But, you know, the chat wasn't here, so hi.
Not much. Saw Black Widow last night, so yeah, whenever we're ready.
Okay, cool. Yeah, damn. I told you we want to review it and get the shit done. No. That boy saying, I had me a healthy breakfast of 9-inch nails. Okay, I thought you could say 9-inch something else. Chaotic, one love. What's up? How you doing? Hopefully having a good week and everything too. Ryan over there in the chat, Mooba in the chat, forcing people to watch commercials. I appreciate that because that puts like 25 cents in my bank account. I love it. Yak. Hello, Yak. Hopefully, we won't make you yak all over the fucking place. We're going to be joined in a little bit by Jet. She's going to come in here. That's when we'll talk about Black Widow because she actually went to the movie theater to see that fucking thing. And I don't know why. But we'll talk about that later on, too. I finished it as well. Finally got to see it myself. I'm curious, chat. You let me know what you think I'm going to give that movie because you probably already know what Alan and Jet might give it. But here's the thing. Now I'm going to see. Who is this? Oh, it's Jet. I was just talking about you, Jet.
What the fuck are you saying?
I was saying that, you know, people probably gonna know exactly how you and Alan feel about that movie as opposed to me.
Sorry, I've been drinking wine for the past like 2 hours.
Oh no, that's not good. Or maybe
it is. I'm fine.
Okay. Marissa, the thing is, most people we know said okay, so Nick might hate it. I don't know. We'll see, Marissa. I might change my whole opinion just based on what you said, you fucking asshole. Really quick though, he's not an asshole. I take that back. He's great. He's wonderful. Ryan's like, the goddamn Black Widow ad plays. That is fucking wonderful. But really quick though, Alan, because I'm gonna review something, and I don't know if you watched it. I know Jet watched it with me, but have you seen Luca?
No, I've not seen Luca. So
yeah, I'm very shocked. I thought that would be something.
How many reviews were we doing today?
Like 10. No, we're doing like 3. I think we're doing
you should have
2.
saw my face right now. It's just like, 10.
Yeah,
10.
You could actually show me your face. Like you have a webcam, you can put it on.
Wrong.
What? Why?
My webcam is on my webcam is on my camera, not my desktop computer. Sir.
You legitimately just put up a picture on Facebook today or yesterday, and it's like I don't know.
That was on my phone, sir. After I woke up like this after 9 hours.
I'm just saying though, you got nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, you're a very beautiful woman. You know.
I gotta call someone out real quick. Alan, why didn't you like my picture? But you caught me.
I never said I didn't like it. It's just you had the horns and you're evil.
No, you didn't. You didn't like it. You didn't put a reaction on it, jerk.
Okay, I mean you put a laugh reaction to the one I uploaded.
Yeah, because you meant for that to be funny.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what's really funny, guys? I'm gonna make fun of myself really quick. You guys can make fun of me and call me Derpy Dirt, whatever the fuck. But I made this funny ass face, and I showed Alan this. But just so you guys know, so some people think that man, Chat Tech's never gonna change, and Nick's never gonna show his face. It's a whole thing I had to do with my webcam and all this shit, and I gotta like get a bunch of stuff set up. But and this is kind of like it's not really a face reveal. You guys know what the fuck I look like, but I'm gonna show it really quick over here. Look how bad my face is on the bottom left corner. I fucking showed this to Alan and Jet, but I was just like, yeah, guys, I'm turning around, fucking around with this tablet thingy and the face. Whatever.
I don't think you're an ugly-looking person at all. I do feel like your face is too close to the camera. You're not even making a derpy face. You're too hard on yourself.
I was making a face like I don't know. For me, when I look at that picture, I just think like the noise is making it's like. Just like I'm pulling up right now. It took a long to fucking fade into, but
your face is just too close to the camera. Whenever someone's face is too close to the camera, it's gonna look weird, especially when like your ears disappear and shit. But like if you basically like push yourself away from the camera, you look fine.
Yeah, but no, we're gonna do a whole setup soon, just so you guys know. So you guys know I'm not like bullshitting here or whatever the fuck. Like, yeah, it's always been a situation where I don't have a camera, but now I got a way to like set up my shit a certain way. I got a selfie stick that Jet gave me, which thank you very much, Jet. But once I change my room around, man, yeah, it'll be another face on here with me and Alan And you can see, when I roll my eyes when Alan's like, "Hey, Freddy's Dead Part 6. It's not the best movie in the whole wide world," because that really bothers me.
It's the worst.
The movie's great. What's wrong with you?
I had to watch it.
I know, but it's a good movie. I like the movie
it's
quite a
not.
bit. But oh, look at that! Like the follows are coming in. Thank you, Rated X, and thank you to the person beforehand. I'm gonna go to the.
Thank you for the follows.
Yeah, Jayless Course. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And we got a poll going on too. I'm gonna look at this poll, and then we'll get into reviews and everything. I'm sorry, guys, for taking a long time. But then again, it's like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't care. We got our own pace in this motherfucker. Let me see here. This says, what do you think they'll give Black Widow? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 out of that 5. I'm very curious what people are going to be saying. So far, everyone's saying right down the middle.
Over here trying to take advantage of my drunken state to have me basically just say what I'm thinking about the movie.
I mean,
What?
yeah, pretty much.
Is that a sentence?
Something of that.
It was.
nature.
I'm just mumbling a bunch because I'm also still drinking.
Yeah, well, drinking is always good. I'm actually glad that you're drinking and whatnot too, because I'm gonna need me and you to go back and forth on Black Widow, because I feel like I'm gonna be a little bit scared when it comes to me and Alan's thing, but maybe we might agree. Who knows? You guys find out soon. But before we get into that, man, so I want to show something. Man, this is loud as fuck. I'm gonna change this back to our default view here. This is a Luca. This wonderful movie right here. Now, people have brought it up to me a couple of times this past week, and right away I just want to say I wasn't really wanting to see this movie because with everyone's responses to it, I thought I was going to dislike it. And the reason why too, by the way, is just because I feel like way too much was coming at me, like just straight at me all at once. I mean, one being Pixar always trying to make me fucking cry, and apparently some kind of like gay undertone that's going on. And yeah, no, I'm not mad about gayness, by the way, too, when it comes to movies, just to put that out there, guys. It's just sometimes I don't think it's necessary. I don't think romance in general is necessary sometimes. So yeah, and I just think that a movie like this, it's a kids movie about water and sea creatures. I just didn't think there was a place for it, and it turns out I was right, because there is no place in it in this movie, because it doesn't do that. Like, I don't know why that was a thing here with people, where like they kept bringing up constantly, just like, oh yeah, it's a gay movie, and oh they do this, and there's some undertones and overtones, blah blah. But like, why can't and this kind of goes to what Alan said before, because I used to bring this up with Hunter x Hunter. But why can't dudes just be friends? And just like, I don't know, like, is that too much to ask for? But I don't know. What have you heard about that, by the way, Alan? I'm pretty sure, like, in our community, you've heard some people say this is gay or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I heard just people just talk about that. It feels like that was the whole story. I just saw the trailer and just like, this looks like shit. Like, I just don't think it looks good. That's why I just avoided watching it. But as far as a lot of the undertones, I'm like, of course they did, because it's like, it's a kids movie and we're doing something that's not the typical straight hetero norm, so everyone wants to immediately call it out. The same thing with Frozen 2. That wasn't even part of the movie. People just fucking jumped on that, and they see the same thing here, and it's like, no, this is just a movie. It just changes up the typical hetero norms.
Yeah, but no, there is very little in this movie that makes it gay. It's actually, like, and here's the thing, too, like, this movie's fucking incredible. I'm just going to spoil my review. This movie's amazing. I think it's super fun. I think it's a beautiful storyline. And yet, for some reason, adults, when they get their hands, stupid little fucking hands all over the movie, and, they can turn it into something that's not. And it really sucks, because you would imagine that, these fucking morons with a kids movie can bring their politics out of it. Because there's people that give this extra points for it being kind of gay. And then there's people like are completely against it because of gay, and they're both wrong. So it's just kind of crazy. But essentially, premise-wise, it's about a kid named Luca who's a sea monster, alongside the rest of his sea monster family underneath the ocean and whatnot. And basically, what he does is he hoards goldfish for them. I think it's goldfish. It could have been goldfish. I don't know. I'm fucking stupid. But he's basically farming them for his family. But he becomes bored and wants to get away, despite his parents telling him no. But his grandma's like, nah, like, there's some awesome shit out there. Like, go out, experience life like I did back in the day. Which they don't really go into that, by the way, too. I mean, there was even a point here where I thought the grandma was going to die because she gets so little time to even talk. But there's lots of norms they don't actually go with that Pixar goes to all the fucking time. They don't do that here, which is pretty cool. But yeah, he actually, goes around, tries to escape, and his parents are basically telling him, like, hey, if you keep fucking trying to escape our area and our norms, we're going to send you someplace where they won't allow you to do that. So he gets out and tries to experience the surface world, which essentially is where we all live. And him being out of the water turns him into, like, a human kid. While he's doing this, he meets his other sea monster named Alberto, and he thinks he's like a deep sea diver or something, but finds out, oh, he's a creature just like me. And Alberto is a little bit older, but he has a completely different way of living life than Luca does. He likes to go out there and take all these risks and do all these things just to experience the surface world, which is actually pretty cool. Now, even though Luca and Berto becomes friends, I think that's where people start going like, okay, well, these guys are gonna be gay because they're sleeping together, blah blah. But they're two young boys. Nothing weird happens. It's just to put that out there. But Alberto, he's collecting all these human things, all these surface people things, like pictures of a scooter and all this other shit. He's trying to make it himself. So he starts falling in love with like these really boring ass objects that no one cares about because he's appreciating the little things in life. Because in the ocean, he doesn't get any of that shit. So, they decide to go and try out for this race, while they walk into the community, seeing more regular people. And in this particular race, they find out that there's people here that are fucking assholes. One guy in particular that I believe is voiced by Sacha Baron Cohen? Cohen, yeah. I get confused between Baron Corbin from WWE.
How?
Because their name, Baron Corbin and Sacha Baron Corbin. See? I don't know how to say it. I'm stupid. But anyway, so they go over there to find out things about these people, and that's pretty much about that's the story. I mean, I pretty much told you the whole fucking movie there. And there's lots of things within it. They meet this girl named Julia, and we can get into that later. But essentially, I just gotta say that there is a love in this movie that I feel like came across very, very well because the director Enrico Casarosa, he's been working on this, and I'm just gonna assume it's been 10 years. I don't know how long he's been working on this. But he did a short that appeared at the beginning of the Brave movie, and it was called Luca, or what's it? La Luna, that's what it's called. And it was also about sailing and shit. And it's just kind of weird that, like, this dude wants to do shit that has to do with the sea, has to do with ocean life, etc. And I feel like that helps with the authenticity of, like, what he was trying to do here, because when they explore the communities, you can tell when people really, really love what they're trying to animate. And I fucking just, like, love the look of this movie. Like, it looks beautiful. And I just like there's so many even the ocean world's not boring like most ocean worlds I've seen. But Jet, what'd you think about this? I mean, animation wise, let's just start off with there. Like, what'd you think about the animation of the movie?
The character definitely looked different than what Pixar is usually used to doing. Like with their human characters, they usually more go for like a traditional 3D Disney style with the little noses, big eyes for their female characters. Blah, blah. With this one, it seemed like they went more different with the faces. Mm-hmm. And the coloring too, which honestly is a welcome change, because I like it when companies who do their usual style, they do something different. It's absolutely beautiful to look at, because at first I was like, this looks something like Illumination would do, until you see the backgrounds, and then it's just like, oh yeah, Pixar definitely did this.
Yeah, and I'm not even familiar with that, because when we say backgrounds, for me, like that kind of stuff right there, is that what you're talking about?
It's literally so detailed. You can tell when Pixar does something because it's literally so detailed, very, very well.
Yeah, over here, you'll see sometimes in animation or even movies, they'll be focused on objects. Here, I see 3 very important things in just this still. But yet everything is focused I'm looking at it as a person literally walking into this area. Nothing is hey, look here. It's no, just enjoy, this world's beautiful. You know what I mean? So I think that's actually pretty cool. But as far as the sea creature stuff and everything, Jet, I gotta ask you a question because you probably focus more than I did. Do they have a name and that's not sea monster? Because they just keep saying sea monster. I'm just like, what?
From what I remember, it was just sea monster.
Don't you feel like that's a little silly? Because monster means, I'm pretty sure, universally monster.
I'm pretty sure, we probably missed it somewhere. They probably have another name, but, for the most part, it was mostly just sea monster.
Okay, yeah.
I would think, they'd basically just be mermaids, but,
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I just felt in Contra, the monster that took Dad's hand, was
Mussolini.
There we go, that's a lot better. But yeah, dude, they actually saw that at the beginning. I completely skipped over that, but there's a part in the beginning where the father of Juliana or Julie, whatever her name is, I get confused, by the way, because they spell it with a G instead of a J, and I was like, okay, that's an unnecessary.
Julie.
Yeah, right. That's what I was thinking. I was like, Ghoulie. It was weird, but. He only has one hand because the sea monster ripped his hand off, and I thought we're eventually gonna get back to the part where it's oh, this is a sea monster ripped my hand off. I'm gonna get him back. They don't even do that. We don't even get to learn more about and why are they all called sea monsters? Has there been a lot more that's come out and done some shit, or just this community is so scarred from that dude losing his wife, and or AKA Julie losing her mom? It's it just doesn't make sense to me. And granted, maybe they're working on a part 2 or something. I know that the director, he said that he wants to do, and I don't know what this is referencing, by the way, because I never seen The Parent Trap or whatever. But he said that he wants to do something akin to Parent Trap 2, where the next movie will be about Julie and her family, and it's not going to talk about Luca at all. So
Okay, he wants to explore the world, the neighborhood, and have just like not necessarily anthology, but just connecting storylines. So you got a bigger world.
Yeah, but like that's what confused me with Shrek and Puss in Boots, because like I never watched Shrek like for years or whatever, and then Puss in Boots I thought he was like separate, and then when I watched Shrek and he shows up in there, I was like, oh shit, like, so are they sharing universes or like this is where he came from? Like I didn't even.
It's where he came from. At the time, like Puss in Boots gets added in, and he was just a popular character, so he got his own spinoff.
Yeah, so I just think it's kind of strange. Or not strange, it's just different. Like I feel like this should not have been called Luca. It should have been called something else, maybe. But then again, it's like I don't know. Maybe they're gonna name all these movies based on like one central character. So like the next one probably.
I mean, they did that with Nemo, Finding Nemo, and then the next one was Finding Dory.
That's true, but you know what? And this sounds stupid, but like I look at that like, oh well, the key word for that franchise is finding.
Finding.
Yeah. But then again, it could be wrong. But like, as far as these two characters, Alberto and Luca Jet, I mean, I've already went on a rant about how I don't see any gayness here, and I also think that I like these characters. But what do you feel about these characters, as well as, do you see the gay? Or no? Right, no.
Did you
smell a little gay in there?
There was no romance at all in this movie. You could definitely see like how people could have gotten like the romance between the two boys, because just like it's the actions that were taken like in the movie that could have been like, okay, he probably had feelings for him, blah 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 blah. And I'll be honest, the whole thing about being mad about like people like getting to that point is so, honestly, it's so like unnecessary, because just like, okay, let people just think of these two like as just like friends. In love or whatever. Like no, in love, because it's just like it doesn't change anything. The movie's still a movie. It's just it doesn't really matter.
But like when it comes to your best friends, like aren't you in love anyways? Like I don't know. Like I've had like
that's the whole thing. It's just like the thing is like these people who say things on the lines of just like, oh, can't people in like these movies just be friends? How often in movies do you see like two main characters that are male get together? We always have that. We always fucking have that. That's why people are going to their lengths to basically put these two characters in love in the first place. Like, I can't even count on one hand how many times like two male best friends in movies actually get together. No. Like at all. Yeah, so it's just like, what point is that to say like, oh, we need to have like strong male relationships? You mean like in every single movie with a male best friend? Damn, just let them just fantasize whatever, make the fan art. Fan art's been cute, so who cares?
But that's the thing, like let the fantasize. Like I don't.
And also, how do people expect for like relationships to actually blossom anyway? Like especially with young kids, yeah, it's them to actually become friends and then eventually like fall in love. Like I'm sorry, that's how a lot of relationships happen.
Yeah, Kirk. So it's time to start shipping Alan and Nick. Alec, oh no.
Actually,
what? Oh
yeah.
No, that's the worst.
If I wasn't in the picture, I'd be like, man, those two will fuck.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I would never do that, but I will say, if I was outside of this room and looking at how me and Alan argue, I'd be like, they're definitely fucking.
No, I'm just gonna a resounding no.
Wow, so I'm
rejected. In this movie, literally everyone's supposed to be friends, but like I can see where people would get like, okay, these two, like at least one of them had a crush on the other. I can see where they got that from, but just like people who actually ship those two together, like I don't have anything against them. They probably are like so much pining for like some sort of like gay representation that they literally do that in like any movie that simply like seems like it's sort of going for it. Mm-hmm. So it's just like I'm not mad at it. Like I just don't care. Like if you hate the fan art, just block it.
Really quick too, I want to say I'm surprised at this particular poll. And it goes away as soon as it fucking shows up. That is hilarious.
Was it favorite standalone Pixar or something?
Yeah, Ratatouille, Up, and like two other ones like were all tie. I'm like, holy shit! Like, I mean, I don't know if that says something good about them. Like, because for me, okay, I'm a negative motherfucker, and I'm looking at it like, oh, these movies are all kind of like, so nothing standing out to be like, this is for sure the best one.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, Up, I did not. Not Up, but Inside Out, I didn't actually like at first until I saw it again on a plane ride.
Yeah.
Then I thought it was like, okay, I'm liking this a lot more, but still, I would not put it above like Up or Coco.
Yeah,
I can't.
because well,
I
no,
don't think I've
Coco
seen.
is.
Like, I like Coco is okay. I've never seen Up. I've seen Ratatouille and Coco on that list. The rest of them I've never seen.
So like another thing too I want to show is Space Cowboy, aka Tommy, is in the chat. And he's saying that Wall-E was his favorite. Dude, I gotta tell you, I hate this fucking movie. Like
I tried to like Wally. Like it's definitely really cute, and like I get the message of it, but just like I don't like it as much as like Up or Coco or like Toy Story.
Yeah.
It's just I tried. It's just not there for me.
well,
It's weird
Good
'cause,
Dinosaur's
my
another
favorite Pixar movie is Finding Nemo, but I guess because Finding Dory exists, that it's not considered standalone.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. My bad. But Good Dinosaur, yeah, I have not seen it all the way. I've seen some parts. You know, the designs are a little silly, but I like this movie too. I thought this was actually pretty cool. But it is what it is, you know. In the chat though, Up, man, Up is so fucking good. And Jet showed me this, and like, I'm telling you, I always make a joke about how she always making me fucking cry about shit.
Yep.
But this movie starts off where I'm like, dude, like, fuck this movie. Like, there's a scene.
I've never seen this movie, mostly because everyone talks about that opening, and I'm like, it's either going to be so impactful, I'm going to feel like shit, or I'm not going to get it because it's been so overhyped.
Yeah, and you know, you're probably right in that sense, but like for me personally, man, like I didn't know anything. I was like, Up. I'm like, what can it possibly be about? And I'm not gonna say what it's about, but just that first opening, it's like it fucking just gut wrenches you. Like, like I hate that shit. Just talking about it now, my heart's like beating faster. Ugh, I hate feeling shit. KJ, what's up, dude? Thank you very much for following on the Twitch. And just so you know, if you're here for Double Toasted, which you most likely are, they're gonna be starting very, very soon. We're just a pre-show. They're gonna shoot the shit and blah blah. What are you saying?
Someone mentioned the Good Dinosaur. The Good Dinosaur, it was all right, but on Pixar's terms, it's just like it's probably the lowest movie that they have. It's not a bad movie. It's just all right.
No, not the lowest. The Car franchise.
Oh,
yeah,
Cars, yeah.
I try to wipe Cars out of my memory so often that it's just like maybe that's like an illumination.
All three of them
Maybe I
are
just
not
gotta
good.
Yeah. Guy, I completely forgot about Cars because I know my niece loved this film. We played the fuck out of this movie, and it was ridiculous. And the thing is like I thought that there was some like authenticity to that, or like not authenticity, like there's something to that. There's some credit to that because on TV it was constantly being played. I'm like, this is literally just like the new version of Toy Story. You know what I mean?
I think that's what they wanted to
Thank
do.
you for the bits, Kurt.
Yeah, thank you so much for the bits, dude. And you're still an asshole though, because I don't like that your jokes always hit and mine don't. Why can't people like me? God damn it. But
I
anyway,
can think of a couple of reasons. The thing about Cars is the reason why they sold it. It was one of the few franchises they could really get a lot of use out of toys. Because you look at the other franchises, like, yeah, you might have the Finding Nemo toys, sure. Toy Story was able to do its thing. But like with Cars, they were able to product placement the fuck out of that. There are hundreds of different versions of the main characters and all that other shit. So it became like the toy movie. So that's why it was pushed as hard as it was, and they kept making sequels, even though people fucking hated them. But like every time we make one of these, we can sell 100 fucking cars.
yeah. That is one thing too. Like think about that. Like remember the Hot Wheels?
Oh, I fucking love Hot Wheels when I was a kid. Yeah.
Dude, me too. I actually had one of those briefcases that opens up into 4 different layers, and they had all the cars.
Fucking
oh my
nerd.
god, dude, you just liked it.
I know.
You guys were Hot Wheels kids. I feel like I was kind of forced into being a Yu-Gi-Oh kid. And
I was also a Yu-Gi-Oh kid as well.
Yeah,
That shit was lame.
and I gotta tell
well,
you,
what other things were there? I think there were
Beyblade.
Beyblade kids, Bionicle kids, Bakugan Battle
I
Brawl
never
kids.
did Bionicle or Bakugan. I think by the time that came around, I was old enough that it wasn't for me anymore.
oh man, and people in the chat.
No, Beyblades were fucking weapons. Like,
Oh, the metal ones?
depending on how you use that, you could lose a fucking finger.
Wait, you mean
No.
the ones where you pull back and it goes like zoom, zoom?
Yeah, you
zoom,
let it
zoom?
rip.
Yeah,
because they started out with the plastic ones. I'm like, okay, that made sense. Plastic with the metal ring. But then they had entire metal ones that once they collide with a plastic one, it just turned to shrapnel. So you would just see them collide and you'd have to jump back because there'd be like fucking plastic fucking everywhere because those things were built
Might
like
as well
shit.
be those fucking crash test dummy fucking things. Like, you
I'll
know.
throw a grenade into the fucking like for as much damage as those do. Or if they fly apart. Because again, these things are spinning really fucking fast, and if they're not held well together, they'll start
That
flying
reminds me
apart.
of those like dangerous ass like Barbie toys back in the day. Like they had these fairy toys or whatever that are similar to Beyblade, to where you pulled the string and the thing is the Barbie toy would like spin in the air. But what they didn't realize is that those toys still had to fall back to the ground, so a whole bunch of people still got hurt.
Jesus.
It's just like you're literally getting smacked in the head with a Barbie that basically got thrown up into the fucking air. Like, dangerous ass fucking toys.
But I will say though, man, and moving on back to this movie, whatever, because I'm gonna wrap it up. I don't want to like do a scene by scene or anything with you guys. I just want to say that one thing I can appreciate about this is that I don't feel like, I mean, obviously gonna be some toys made for this, blah blah, whatever. I mean, it's a fucking kid's
probably.
thing. But I feel like this wasn't pushing any of that. This was pushing pure story. Even to the point where, like, because I think they're in Italy. It looks like they're in Italy. A couple things.
Somebody said they're in Italy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, you could have pushed like a lot to like make Italians feel good. I don't think that if I was Italian, I'd feel represented in this. To be honest, like, I'm like, oh, I remember like houses I used to live in that look like that. But like, this is not really pushing that either. It's not even pushing music much. But someone in the chat, Bad Boy, brought up Coco and said it's really special in his family. Me, I'm gonna be honest, dude. I don't have a lot of like Mexican pride. I mean, not to talk shit, but it's just I'm very American. And the biggest thing about this too is like I really like my family didn't want to teach me Spanish because they wanted to talk shit about me in Spanish and I wouldn't be able to like reply. So like, you know, that's how my family was. So when I see like Coco, there's no like special like, oh, Mexican culture. I'm just like, no, it's just a movie. I don't really give a shit. So, you know, for Coco, for me, I was thrown off by it. I feel like you kind of gotta be Mexican or you gotta be someone who just likes different cultures in general. And that's for that audience. This is for an audience who just wants to see a good movie. And yeah, it might have some cool representation of Italian people or Italian culture. That's cool. But like anybody can watch this. And I don't think anyone would, you know, if you and somebody else completely different from you both like the movie, you would like the same things. Not one person can go, I like it because Italian, whatever the fuck. It's like, no, it's just a great movie. And that's one of the things I want to like say at the end of this. It's just like, yeah, like the relationships, not any kind of representation of gay or non-gay. You know, not a ton of action, but it doesn't have to be. It just everything was just really, really just enjoyable, and I don't need shit, you know, extra explained, you know, which was cool. I like the world they live in and everything. So yeah, just overall, man, 4 out of 5 for me. I fucking love this movie a lot. I can't give it a 5 out of 5 because I do think that like I would have liked to see other sea creatures, and I would have liked to see certain situations happen in a different way. But like, it's almost unpredictable. There's certain times where I'm like, I can't believe this thing happened when I normally would have called it by now, but it didn't happen differently. It's pretty cool. So watch Luca. It good. 4 out of 5 for me. I'm glad that Tommy agrees with me in there. But the biggest thing here is that Jet. I'm curious. Will you agree with me? What's your rating for Luca?
Oh, it's definitely a 4 out of 5. This is an absolutely adorable movie. That's, you know, art-wise is very different than Pixar's usual norms, and like all the characters are absolutely 100% interesting to watch. Even the parents, like I thought they were just going to be like some throwaways or whatever for the beginning of the movie, but they become pretty interesting characters later on, especially like what they do later, like being in like the city, like trying to look for Luca. But yeah, like I liked all the character interactions. I liked like how all of them like worked together and became like sudden like this friendships between them. It was different, but honestly, like it was pretty nice. Although I will say, the villain, he was kind of that fucking snake, that fucking worm. I'm sorry. In any other movie, someone like that would have got their fucking stomach like punched the fuck in, because no one would have been scared of him. Like whatever, because that's a majorly like running thing throughout this movie. Like, oh, everyone's scared of you. Everyone's scared of you. Scared of what? Punch him in his bird chest. Yeah. Like this movie would have been solved if they just basically just hit him the right way, just knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah, no, that was a very annoying villain.
But because this is a family movie, they can't do that. But I'm just like, just slap him in his big fucking nose. Just beat the shit out of him.
No, and the dude acts a lot like Sacha Baron Cohen. So it's like, there's a part of me that's like, I hate him because I hate the person playing him too. Like, I just, but yeah, would you rate this again though, Jet? What's your numeric value on this?
Definitely a 4 out of 5.
Holy shit, damn, we all agree then. Like, there's a couple people in chat that give it like a 3. Devin and Greg give it a 5. So, I mean, overall, dude, I think most people can at least say that this is an above average movie. But I'm wondering if that's going to be the same case with this next one. Now, Alan, I'm going to have you give the synopsis because I did watch this movie and I did pay attention. But the thing is, man, is that just the marketing of this movie and the pacing of, like, real life, the business decision to come out with this is the most dumbest shit I think I've ever fucking seen. But I'm able to say my opinion for everything else afterwards. What is this even about, dude?
Basically, it takes place directly, probably a couple weeks after the events of Civil War. So if you remember what happened in Civil War, there was the airport fight, everyone spread out, and as a result, the Sokovia Accords passed, and a lot of the Avengers are coming. Also, this is right before Infinity War. It's that like year between Civil War and Infinity War, and at this point, Black Widow's on the run again, and she has to basically like just try to find a way to not get caught by the government. Goes in, lives into some fucking backwoods area. And it also cuts to her sister that's dealing with some other bullshit that's regards to Black Widow's past. And they basically get intertwined where there's an event that happens that her sister wants to stop a lot of the Black Widows from being formed, but needs her sister's help. They eventually meet up and decide they're going to go take down the Red Rune to make sure that no more Black Widows are made, and to basically just kind of help deal with Black Widow's past.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, that premise is pretty good.
Yes.
Should have happened a long time ago. Because I think that the premise only serves that after credit scene. But go ahead, though. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No. It's one of the things. No, I want you to continue because I have a few things I want to say about the existence of this movie. So go ahead.
Okay, yeah, because like for me, it's like, and I guess time to throw out the charade. This movie's actually good. I liked it. It's alright.
Uh-huh.
But my thing is, it's just kind of like, I know what happens to Black Widow, so every single fight scene, every single danger scene, all the stupid like, oh, here comes the bad guys. Like, even if this is like any other kind of movie, I'd be like, who gives a fuck with the bad guys? But the fact that all of them are just kind of going after this, and then like, you know, her sister, what's her name? Yellow Wolf.
Yelena, I think.
Yelena, there we go. But she's there, and then we already know that Red Guardian's there with the fucking wife, and then like, we know that all these girls were, you know, they escaped the fucking Red Room, and then we know that the Taskmaster, I mean, there could be many Taskmasters. I'm not going to spoil that here, but like, there could be, who knows in this world? Who knows?
Yeah.
There could be a bunch of shit going on, and it's just like, why weren't they in Endgame? You brought the Wakandians. You brought everyone's fucking homies and everything. You even brought fucking Tony Stark's wife. Everyone was involved in that big fight, the end of the world fight, and yet none of these people were like affected by the snap and everything. It's like, you've been telling us movie after movie, interrupting. You guys ruined Spider-Man Far From Home because of that fucking snap. You ruined that movie. And yet, that's just going to be ignored for this one? It takes place in the same universe. Respect your fucking universe, you stupid fucking franchise. It drives me fucking nuts. It doesn't make sense.
It's one of those things that this has the exact same problem as Fast 9 of like, hey, I'm just like, she never even hints at the existence of a family. So it's like, we're just kind of bringing that in. And that to me, if I were to ever make a top 10 movie tropes that I fucking hate, it is the brother sister that I've never spoken about, and we've had this long established franchise. I talk shit about that in Fast 9, where I'm like, how the fuck are we 9 movies into this franchise, almost 10 movies into this franchise, and you're all about family, and you never brought this character up. It's like, yeah, I get they didn't exist prior to the fucking creation of the other movies, but like, you have comics where this could have existed. If you're like, not your situation where it's like, look, we don't know if we're ever going to make a solo movie about this, at least drop little conversations. But it's one of those things of like the conservative mindset of movies where it's like, it's that whole stupid thing of like, if there's a gun on the table, you have to use it. So if you have a line of dialogue in a movie, it has to be used in the movie itself, because they're like, well, we can't just have a throwaway line of, oh man, that was the one time my dad said this. And it's like, who's your dad? Why don't you never bring it up? Why is he in this movie? Is he ever going to show up? It's like, you don't do that anymore. You used to be able to do that in the past because people just assumed, like, yeah, of course you assume Black Widow has a father and a mother. That's an assumption. She was born at some point. She didn't just spawn from fucking existence. But it is one of those things when you have a relative, it's different, especially one that she's clearly known. But there's a lot of heavy lifting that this movie had to do. And I had lowest expectations I've ever had for a movie. Literally was walking with my buddies. I literally told them, like, I expect the fight scenes in this movie to be shit. That's how low my expectations are. I don't expect this to be good at all. But watching it, the first thing I noticed is I've never been a huge fan of Scarlett Johansson's acting. I think bare minimum. If bare minimum was an actress, it's Scarlett Johansson. Like, she just shows up and what's up?
That's how I feel about Tessa Thompson.
Me too.
No,
God
don't you
damn,
dare
yes.
talk about Tessa
Yes,
Thompson.
I will talk about
She
Tessa
needs to be
Thompson. I'm
protected.
sorry. I don't think she's that good.
She needs to be protected.
She likes treasure.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. But she needs to act a little better.
She does act. Watch Westworld. Watch.
Hey, watch
I've
Men in Black.
seen fucking Men in Black.
You gotta watch Men in
Okay,
Black.
that's not a like. Man, the fucking movie's terrible. But as far as this movie, one of the biggest worries I have is like, again, see me. When I was looking at this, it's like, okay, it's a Black Widow movie, but I'm like, well, let me pretend like I'm reading a comic from like 30 years ago. It's like, yeah, I kind of already know how it's going to go, so just give me something entertaining. But the difference that this movie has versus something like Fast 9, which came out like literally within like what, a month of each other, is Fast 9 focuses so much on Dominic Toretto's character that you need to just live with what you're learning with that character.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this movie has the smartest decision they ever made is to make Black Widow a supporting character in her own movie.
Yeah,
This
right.
movie-
Like
the
that was
first-
such a good idea.
yeah. The first 30 minutes, I'd say the first 30 minutes is her. But what saves this movie personally for me is her sister.
Yes.
Everything about her sister was amazing.
The acting, the way, the comedy at the right times, the action, the anger at first, like everything, and then. By the way, I like the WWE shit they do at the end, where someone turns heel, then face, then heel, then face again. I'm like, I literally can't predict the movie, and this movie, it should be the most predictable because it came out after all these other ones. We know the ending, but then we don't know these other endings. What the fuck? Like, I mean, this is so cool. Like, I love so much about this. It's just, God, imagine how cool this would have been if we didn't know Black Widow dies.
I think that to me, it doesn't matter because like it's one of those things where when I watched this, I was like, okay, whatever. To me, it's like watching a prequel to something I already know. Like versus playing Metal Gear Solid. Like I kind of already knew enough about Metal Gear Solid before playing it, but it was the journey that you go for. It's like if someone spoils a death for you, yes, that sucks. Like if I tell you random person dies in the show, yes, that sucks. But the show itself is also fantastic. Like try to pick up a movie like The Dark Knight the whole time. It's like, oh, Harvey Dent dies at the end. It's like, yes, that sucks. It spoils the movie, but there's a journey there that you want to see. And yes, it lowers a lot of the stakes. But what the brilliant part of this movie is it doesn't rely on Black Widow's existence for you to be okay with that. Not like it does a lot of stuff of establishing other stuff. It establishes that other countries have their own versus super soldier products. It establishes that there's a lot more going on with this whole Widow project. It establishes characters that are going to be used in further MCU movies, and it puts a nice bow on the ending of this character's arc, where it's like you get to see the kind of person this person has become, and that's the best part about this movie. Is Black Widow like could have been edited as this movie, and it would have been almost the same movie, and that's what makes this movie worth watching.
Another thing too is like, could we have had this as a show? Do you think that this would have been better as a show?
I think it would have been way better as a show. In fact, I think that it being a movie is a massive detriment to it because
there's so much story.
There's so much going on. There's so many times where a character has to fucking do like fucking speed through a bunch of like funny moments just for development. Like everything with the fucking everything with the Guardian, I fucking hate him, by the way. Like every time he's on screen ruins the movie for me. But people loved it. But he has to, every time he says something, he has to speed through like 15 like lines. Like everything he says, like the Captain America, oh yeah, Captain America, I fought him, enemy, yada yada yada. Oh hey, Captain America. Like it feels like he's rushing through because it's like
rushing like rushing through.
Just not gonna say anything else.
I'm sorry. That's funny as fuck. Ganja, what's up, dude? We're talking about Black Widow, so if you end up not talking, it's okay. I get it. But anyways, no. But go ahead, no. Because I agree. I think that like his trying to get all this shit out about Captain America almost seems a little like obsessed as well.
Oh,
as,
you
like...
suck. Okay, that one worked.
All right, sweet.
Okay.
All right, I'm here now.
That usually ends up working. But yeah, it's one of those characters. I particularly didn't like him, but I liked everything else the movie was doing. It's just, for me, I felt like most of the comedy fell flat. Like, most of it was just some of the worst. Like, there were times where it worked out. Like, when Florence, I fuck up her last name, so I was going to call her Florence the whole time. But there's a situation in which she's talking about her pose, and I'm like, look at the screen aghast. Because I'm like, this is the worst comedy, the worst joke, and it just goes on. I'm like, are you still going on this joke? Yes, we get it. The pose is dumb. Superhero poses are dumb. We've been saying this shit since Deadpool 1. And it goes on for minutes. I'm like, oh my fucking God, staring at the ceiling of the theater, just go, like, get on with it. But then it ends off with a really good line of like, yeah, you got to be that. You got to be the killer that people looked up to. I was never that. I'm like, okay, you're calling her out. It's like, yeah, you're a fucking horrible murderer, but people think of you as a hero. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay, you managed to balance out. I know how to spell her name. I just don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I know, right? Because I'm like a plug. Florence Pugh.
Apparently, it's Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
Is it Pugh?
Yeah, Pugh. Yeah,
I
Florence
don't know,
Pugh.
fortunate name, but yeah, like,
big question.
and another thing I don't like about the movie, all the action in this movie is fucking terrible. Holy shit.
Oh, what?
Every fight scene, except for maybe the hotel one, is just bad. But it's bad in the sense of it's over edited.
Corey's calling me. You continue on, good sir.
Tell him I'm going to meet him at WrestleMania.
It's one of those things where it's bad in the sense that it's over edited because you see a lot of the setup, you see a lot of the cam work, and it's like it's almost there, but they do too many edits where it sometimes feels like it's really unclear what the hell's doing. Like the fight between Task Manager and the Red Patriot, Red Guardian, what the fuck his name was fucking terrible. every punch was a cut. I was like, look at this going. This is some Taken 3 shit. The fight between Black Widow and Florence Pugh was pretty good, but it could have been easily better. The fight between there's a fight near the end, I guess the climactic fight, which was pretty well done, but it's just like Black Widow's had better fight scenes in other movies than she did here, and I'm like, the only I guess action scene, like the fight scenes are all bad, but the only action that I enjoyed was there's a car chase when you first see Task Manager.
It's like Terminator, by the way, dude. That was like Terminator 2 levels of awesome.
That was to me. I was like, literally at that point, I'm like, I'm enjoying this better than Fast 9. Like this is better than Fast 9 easily.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably agree with that, but I will say though, the thing that kind of won me over a lot too, because like for me, I like build up of just singular characters.
Man, people are calling me out because they keep calling him Task Manager. I'm gonna wait because I got a rant about that fucking just that existence of that character.
No, actually, I that was the thing I was gonna segue into right now. I love this character. I love this character so much. I thought it was gonna be a dude the whole time, and it ended up being a girl. This might not be the Taskmaster, by the way. This could be somebody else, right?
It's one of the situations where it's the name. Look, fuck.
That's kind of smart, though.
It is because the situation where this character's had multiple different iterations, they can essentially put whatever mask you want to put on and essentially get the same character. And I'm going to say this straight up. Taskmaster is a fucking loser. Taskmaster is one of the biggest losers. Not in this movie. In the mythos of Marvel, he is up there with fucking Deadshot and whatever the fuck his name was. Daredevil season 3, Bullseye. They all have the same moveset of the regular people, but they're super good at this one fucking thing. I have the fucking term for a guy who's good at thing man. Like it's a situation where he's able to mimic other people's fighting capabilities. That is so unbelievably lame when the Hulk exists.
Someone brought up like something that's probably a spoiler. I don't know if we're doing spoiler talks right now, but I do have something to say about that.
Actually, though, people right now we're gonna talk about spoilers. So if you don't like spoilers, go. I probably should have said that earlier, but the movie's been out for a few days. And by the way, too, it's like, yeah. Well, another thing too, I'm sick of. If I make you mad, if I spoil a movie for you, then you need to get a fucking life. I'm still sick of that shit. But anyways, spoilers now. Go fuck off. But yeah, Taskmaster's a woman, and what are you gonna say about that, Jet?
Yeah, like I will say, like that when it comes to Marvel, or a lot of movies tend to do this, if they talk about a certain character being dead for quite a bit, usually most of the time it means like, oh, they're not dead. So I caught on to that pretty quickly.
Same here.
Yeah, it wasn't too much of a surprise to me.
But this is the thing they've been doing a lot too, because they did this in Miles Morales, the Spider-Man video game. They changed the gender of a character, and the female version in the video game is way better than the male version. Am I right about that, Alan? Because I could be wrong.
Yeah, because it's again the situation. Toy Master is a thing where it's like the moniker gets given to so many people that you can easily just throw it onto a new person.
And you can kind of say like for instance, like for people that are casuals in this universe, which I am, by the way, you can just say, man, I like Taskmaster from Black Widow. I like Taskmaster from the game. But like the people that are really nerdy about it, they don't even have to say Taskmaster. They can be like, I like this person's real name who wears a Taskmaster mask.
Perfect example. Ant-Man isn't the first Ant-Man. He's the second one. They say it in the movie, but Hank Pym is Ant-Man. Scott Lang is Ant-Man too, because eventually the moniker gets passed over. They managed to do that because Marvel wanted to establish a timeline. But it's one of the situations where it's, Tinkerer, my bad. Yeah, Tinkerer, Toy Master. I always confuse them because they have the same fucking moveset. Like, sorry, I'm gonna add the D tier, Z tier, Jobber tier of fucking Marvel of these loser characters that their only existence is only amplified by the universe they're in. It's like imagine if Conor McGregor is a fucking villain. It's like, are you serious? Like this man is gonna somehow go toe to toe with Captain America.
He just had a fucking.
Oh, that's why I brought him up because he's just a dude.
Well, yeah, but it's just the idea of just like now he'll be like the sacrificial, or what do you call that one? Like Thanos, the what do you call that kind of character?
I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Sacrificial lamb, I think maybe that's the closest I can come to. But it is one of those situations where I always think those characters are fucking losers because, and I'm gonna say this: we already had Task Manager in this movie, in the series. It was. Did everyone forget Civil War when Tony has fucking Friday in his fucking suit going analyze Captain America's fighting moves, and that's how he's able to go toe to toe with Captain America? This character already exists. A computer program is just as good as this one random fucking character. The fact that anyone thinks this character is cool blows my fucking mind. Deadshot, Task Manager, and fucking Bullseye are losers.
I disagree so hard. And I can't believe this is happening because I usually hate Marvel shit and you love Marvel shit. So I don't know how this is.
I'm more of a DC fan, but
Yeah. Well, but even like comic book shit, like, cause like these things are bad, but if these things are bad, especially the way they did that in this movie, then all the shit's bad. Like, you like I'm so like shocked. I don't even know what to even say. But, like,
to me, it's those situations where you have so many like ways to explain how people have powers that like it's and there's so many things where it's like with people it's like very specific skill sets, but there's a difference between something like a Green Arrow, for instance. He's really good at archery. He doesn't have any special, but he's very good at archery. But archery is a compound skill set that requires multiple different disciplines. But you see how he approaches the situation. He mostly again like Hawkeye's a better example. Like being dealing with arrows allows you to have multiple skill sets, but they tend to stay in the background. Same thing with Black Widow, where she has multiple skill sets, but she tends to be in a situation where she's not up front. The thing about Deadshot, those two characters, was I bring up, especially Taskmaster, they're fighting Avengers.
It's Taskmaster, for fuck's sake.
I don't care. He's a loser. I'm not gonna give him his name properly. And honestly, I keep fucking up because might as well be Task Manager. You fucking Task Manager is such a fucking loser that in one iteration of the comics, he has a problem with memory where he will forget it. Where if you don't fight Task Manager after a while, he's a bad one. Yeah, what ends up happening is it's like a year or some shit. Where if let's say he fights Captain America and then the next year he fights Captain America, he has to relearn it. So if Captain America fights a different fighting style, it'll fuck him up. And it's like all you do is change up your fighting style. And it's like this is such a loser character that you just amped him up to this fucking 10th degree to make him a viable threat. Like Black Widow has fought Thanos. She's fought the children of Thanos. She's gone toe to toe with fucking half the Avengers. And we have to give this guy who's just really good at analyzing fucking fighting. I'm like, are you serious? This is so lame.
Yeah. But moving on though, because I mean we talk about Task Manager, I guess. And like I love the character. I don't have too much to say as to the reason why. I just like the way they did that.
You also said Task Manager.
Good.
See, he's fucking me. Taskmaster. Yeah, that's what it is. Because like they have one like in the video game too, and like he's also fighting Black Widow, but to do it, and it's like I don't know, I'm getting confused. Like
he fought Spider-Man. You fight him in PS4 Spider-Man. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, these fucking terrible characters. Oh, and then don't even get me started on Fisk. Like, oh, let's get a 450-pound guy who can barely move. He's dangerous. It's fucking stupid. Anyways, moving on though. The main villain of this is I think it's called Turkov, or what the fuck was his last name?
Turkov. Oh god, it's either the N. I can't remember his name.
Nurkov or some shit, some like Russian
name.
Yeah, you gotta put that cough at the end. They all need fucking lozenges. But the way he has his thing, where because he's like an old man who's fat, little, old, doesn't have any skills. But the way, and I'm not going to spoil how, but he has some particular way of defeating Black Widow, or at least getting close to defeating Black Widow. And I was like, dude, I would have never predicted that's what he's going to do. Part of it's like, wow, this is cheesy as fuck, but also like, sometimes I think Marvel runs out of ideas. And especially like when it comes to this time shit, because you would think, oh, well, this opens up many ideas. And it's like, no, because Marvel's stupid and they can't think of anything. But this situation is like, wow, shut my ass up. Like that was actually genius how they handled that Cherkov dude. Where the fuck?
Yeah, we just have to. Hey guys, plants are magic.
Well, it's happening.
Especially the ones I got.
Yeah, really? Did your first thought you went to the happening?
Yeah, I love that movie. Actually, I didn't want to tell you.
Okay, cool. We're watching it tonight.
Yeah, we're not.
No, we're not. I'll catch you, bitch.
Maybe next Saturday. Well, I'll do that to torture them for making me watch some shit that they made me watch. But
I'm still waiting for my Tupac EDM remix, you fucker.
Oh, yeah. That's how I tricked him.
So bad. Moving on, and I'm going to just wrap this up quickly because our Google Hangouts call is going to turn off, and that'll be just kind of like awkward. So, very, very fast. I'm giving my rating for this. I give this a 3.5 out of 5. It's better than average. It's a pretty fucking good movie. It was just timed badly, and I do think that this is going to open up to the shows, the Disney Plus shows. These other characters are obviously going to be involved in all that stuff, and I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with it. I am very, very happy with this movie. The only problem, though, is that it should not have been on Disney Plus too. That's another thing. If it was going to be this elongated fucking story, it could have been easily a show. And fuck it, make it be about the red dude.
Red
David
Guardian,
Harbour. Red Guardian, yeah, David Harbour. You didn't like him at all, but like people like that stupid goofy shit, and it's like he did his job, and I don't know. I feel like I should have got more with that, especially them as a family. I thought that was really interesting. Like whoever played young Scarlett Johansson and young the sister, great actresses as little kids. They were very good. So yeah, I love a lot of stuff of this movie, and there's things I don't like, but they're all Marvel-themed. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5 for me. Jet, what would you rate this movie, and what would you say, that we haven't said yet?
I know I haven't talked much about this movie, but I actually did like this movie, like, quite a bit, actually. But the thing is, like a lot of people have been saying, it is generic. But the thing is about generic movies is that they don't have to be bad. Like they can do, like, something that's a little bit different that makes you go, like, okay, this is generic, but I still like it.
Yeah.
Just as, like, the family dynamic between all the characters, which is actually pretty fun to watch. There's a table scene that happens, like, midway through the movie that, honestly, I relate to that. That actually had me, like, laughing at quite a few parts. The characters' interaction was probably the strongest part of this movie, as well as Black Widow's sister, who, honestly, her name in the movie I cannot remember. It was
Yamela.
what was her name?
Yamela, Yazela, Yamama.
Yelena was a sister. Melina was.
Yeah,
the
was it Elena?
time.
Okay, yeah, I think it was Elena. Yeah, like Elena was probably the absolute best part of this movie. Like her whole thing with how how she felt about the whole family dynamic and everything, like her humor, probably the best part of the movie. Task Manager. I'm just gonna go ahead and just say Task Manager because I feel like that's funny as shit. But Task Manager / Taskmaster was good, but I feel like severely underused. I feel like they could have added them throughout the entire movie, like, way more to make them more of a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And the twist with them really wasn't surprising to me in the slightest. The villains in this movie in general really, in my opinion, weren't that strong, which I feel like a lot of people, like, is most problem with this movie is that, like, yeah, the villains were weak, which is, early on, that was a big problem with Marvel. Just like, oh, the movie is great, but the villains were kind of trash. Task Manager, I feel like, could have been a stronger villain, but then the actual villain of the movie is just like, basic. The way they dealt with them, kind of basic. It was smart how they dealt with them, but it's just like, you could have did a lot more with them. Which also comes to terms of, like, I feel like the placement in the movie, like, should actually have been before Infinity War. Definitely before Infinity War, which a lot of people have already pointed out. It makes a lot more sense because Natasha dying in Infinity War was kind of just, whatever, who gives a shit. But if this movie came out before then, you would have felt a lot. You would have felt a lot more emotion because you would be like, okay, she left this whole family behind with, her mom, Red Rocket, and
Red
of
Rocket.
course, Red Communist, Red Sovereign, whatever the fuck his name was. Who I felt
You got it.
he was pretty good in the movie. He had a lot of laughs, in my opinion, but very underused. Did not have a lot of good fight scenes, and also, if you would have took him out completely, the movie wouldn't change.
Oh,
He was pretty much useless. He was funny as shit, and, like, I'm glad he was in there, but I feel like they should have had him do a lot more. Because it's just like, a character like that also had the super serum like Captain America. Oh, what can he do? Oh, he's strong, but what are you going to do with him?
Yeah.
So anyway, just having to make jokes the entire movie. They were funny, I'll give you that, but just like, he is an interesting character. You could have had him do a lot more. But overall, I do feel like this movie actually was pretty fun to watch. Especially, like, I feel if you're someone with a dysfunctional family, this movie will actually hit you a lot more. In terms of, like, the family dynamics. Because, like, a lot of things that happen in this movie are just like, okay, I relate to that. I don't relate to that, but, I get you.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had to give this movie rating probably a 3.5 out of 5.
3.5 out of 5 for you. So before we get into Alan's review, I'm going to just do something really quick. Put this in one of our calls. It's the new Google Meet because this is about to turn off very, very soon. So join that one, guys. I'm just going to change the screen really quick. I'll still be talking to you.
Moving on to the next place.
And get into the next play for me, please. All right, guys. So I left there. Clicking that off. I heard a ding-dong. They're going to let them in right now. Doing this all in the background is very, very difficult, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see here. All right. Can Ganja, Alan, and Jay hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sweet. Seamless. Look at that. We're the call continues. Only 5 seconds of changing something around. Anyway.
I thought I was the good boy that got here first. This is bullshit.
Yeah, well, I let you in kind of late. Oh, she has to pee. But here's the thing, though. You know who doesn't have to pee? Alan doesn't have to pee because he doesn't have a penis. Or I don't know.
No, he does not.
I actually do have to pee, but as far as my, I'm assuming you're giving it to me to give final thoughts and just overall access.
Oh, sorry.
This is one of the this is one of the movies where it's like as far as Marvel's concerned, I just like I've fallen off Marvel like movies, and I've fallen off for a while. But the Marvel TV shows have really just stepped up their game. So with this movie, I had zero expectations. I'm like, bro, I expected this to be a piece of shit. So the fact that it was anything other than that was honestly a breath of fresh air.
I like how you're rotoscope right now.
Yeah, what the fuck's going on with my webcam? I thought it was
now
just
you're good.
Okay, there we go. It's one of those things where the dynamic between the two sisters really worked out. I hated everything with the Red Guardian. I thought he was fucking terrible. I liked the mom being very, very cold. It really added to the movie. But one of the things that really bothered me, and one of the things that I like is like, yeah, you know, like just saying, if you have a dysfunctional family, you'll connect to it. But my biggest problem is there's a scene where they're in the house, and that's the scene she's talking about. There's times where it's like between like Scarlett Johansson and her, you know, the person that's supposed to be her mother, like that was a nice scene. But I wanted them to replicate it as well in the next scene because they have it with, you know, Florence Pugh and the Red Guardian. But they never do anything there that's anything more than just a series of jokes. And it's like, I felt like they were trying to do this thing where he doesn't understand how to tell people stuff, but they never capitalize on it. It just feels like we need to do jokes just for joke's sake. It's like, oh shit, Marvel movies are so many jokes. Let's just denote it to one character. And every time he speaks, he just cuts the quote unquote tension of the movie. And it felt like you could have done a lot more interesting stuff with the dynamic if you didn't feel the need to constantly be funny. Yeah. And what also brought it down was every single fight scene is so edited to shit. It is just garbage. There's a scene where there's a prison break. I'm like, oh cool, I love prison breaks. It's like one of my favorite fucking places to have an action scene because there's always like tight corridors. There's always like guards that are coming out of nowhere. You can have an infinite amount of people just appearing anywhere. There's a lot you can do with a prison that you wouldn't be necessarily do in any other kind of building. They don't capitalize that at all. And it's like every single time I feel like they're gonna do something cool, it feels like they drop the ball there. Even like this, a lot of the CG just feels like, especially the climax of this movie feels like the end of Winter Soldier, like almost the exact same fucking. Oh, yeah. Like almost beat for beat, it feels like the end of that movie. But it's like at least Winter Soldier gave me something interesting with the two characters. With this, it just felt like it's over, guys. And again, what saves the movie is the supporting cast. So that's why it's like it doesn't bother me. To me, I treat this like I treat this like a situation where it's like I'm late to the game and I got to catch up. So it's like reading comics. Like, oh, I got to read a bunch of these comics, even though I kind of or watching a Star Wars movies. Like I knew about all the Star Wars movies before I fucking watched any of them, but I got to catch up and try to enjoy it for the movie that it is. And I got a lot out of this. I like the world building. I like the characters. I like a lot of what was going on, and it was an interesting movie. So I didn't walk out hating it. And in fact, me and my buddy were talking about this. This is better than Captain Marvel, easily. Like easily, because that movie fails at everything it tries to do, mostly because Brie Larson is. I'm not gonna say she's a terrible actress, but she was terrible in that movie. But the difference between Captain Marvel and Black Widow is Captain Marvel relies on you connected to the main character. This doesn't. If you hate Black Widow, don't worry about it. You got 3 other people to latch onto for a majority of this movie. Yeah. So as far as my overall rating, this is a 6.5 out of 10, easily. Like, just it's not enough to be a 7 because 7 is like I'm jumping up. This is like I enjoyed this, but it could have been better than Fast 9, easily.
Yeah. But yeah. So what you call it? 6.5 out of 10 is just average, I guess, or whatever. And like
a little bit more, yeah.
Consider that like almost a 2 if it was they're 2.25 out of a 5. So I get that, man. And like. Yeah, I'm just shocked at that particular review because I did feel like you were gonna like this, even though you did have low expectations.
I mean, I did overall like it, but it's one of those things where it's like I'm not gonna go another rant, but I see a $200 million price tag, and I go, I'm offended that these fight scenes are terrible. When I just got with watching 2 seasons of Warrior, like I think Marcus Kilgore like said, hey, everyone check this out. Even I think tagged me at one point, hey, watch this show, and I finally got through watching 2 seasons. Every fight scene is fucking spectacular. Everyone, there's not a bad fight scene. In like 20 episode TV show that the budget for the whole series at this point is probably half or maybe even a third of what Black Widow is. And I'm seeing incredible fighting. And then I see this $200 million fucking shit show. And I'm like, really? Like you spend this much money and you can't do fight scenes as good as people that do for $5 million. Like I'm offended by it.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. But I will say, though, I did find a picture of myself when I was watching the trailer to What If, by the way. Just want to put this out here.
Oh, yeah.
And this is me. Just going, like, is this Marvel shit that I really, really like? It doesn't look awesome? Is that 2 things in 1 week that I like about Marvel? Oh, fuck!
That's the one thing about the What If, where it's like, I saw a little bit of the trailer, but I'm like, look, Marvel animation is almost always terrible, and this is not any different. Dude. This animation looks garbage.
But I will say, I did not pair Killmonger and Tony Stark together when I was giving out jokes like last year when we talked about this even happening. We were just like, oh, what are you gonna do? Hulk and fucking this guy hanging out, whatever.
my whole thing is like who was asking for that what if? Like what if Tony Stark and Killmonger actually met
See,
together?
that's the thing
like,
nobody was asking for. You're right. But that's what makes it awesome because this is not like one of those stupid like, well, the fans put these stupid things together, so let's go ahead and explain that. So let's go, hey, what if this person?
that's honestly what I thought the series was. I thought it was like what it like the something that the fans have been asking for a long time. Just like what if this and this happened? Like very popular questions. That whole Tony Stark and Killmonger thing. Like I don't think that ever crossed my mind.
It never crossed my mind either. But that's why I love it because I'm like, I cannot believe that you guys are doing something that really is like super random. I mean, those personalities do not belong together. What the fuck could happen between a Killmonger and a Tony Stark?
Oh, probably it's a situation in which, well, he just saved him. Iron Man doesn't exist, and there's a lot of stuff that happens. But my biggest problem with it is, like, look, I think the animation personally, I think the animation looks like shit. And honestly, I don't want to watch it not because of the animation, but because the idea.
Cell shaded or rose scope.
I actually do, because again, Spider-Verse was fantastic. Like Spider-Verse is cel shaded. There's a lot of different animation styles in that one movie, but like that was fine. That would look fantastic. This to me looks like something that I would watch on fucking Disney Channel at like fucking 9 o'clock like 7:30 right before the kids go to school. Like this looks like
That's
something
fine.
that would be
like that.
It looks bad in a lot of cases where I'm like, this just looks really cheap. And by the way, who cares about Howard the Duck? Can we be real here? Who actually gives a fuck about Howard the Duck? Like
duck tits. Woo!
The only thing people know about Howard the Duck is the fucking George Lucas movie, and the only reason they know that is because of the Nostalgia Critic review.
Yeah, I know. The fact that Jet did that is just fucking hilarious to
Like,
me.
it's a character that I don't understand. Nobody likes his character. Nobody in any way, shape, or form likes his character. But for some fucking reason, we have to keep giving him like his own fucking clip on there. But like to me, when I think of what ifs, I think of the real what ifs, which was the comics, which is much more interesting stories about the what ifs or just different stuff they're doing there. With this, it's what Marvel does. We take the name and we don't really do the actual adaptation. We just do our own thing. Like Winter Soldier, except for Bucky, has almost nothing to do with the original comic. Civil War is same thing for better in that case. But like my favorite what if comic is what if Spider-Man kept the black suit on during the course of his year? Like what would happen to him? And you know what would happen to him? The symbiote would eat him up, and he would become skeleton and die in like a year.
Oh, if that's like legitimately like a thing, like a rule or like a thing they explain, then that actually would suck as a what if episode because like. Yeah, like, so he dies. It's just
it's one of those situations where it's like it corrupts, it seduces. It's a euphemism for drugs at this fucking point. It's like heroin. It makes you feel great, but it'll eventually kill you. But it's a situation where it's like you imagine what you could do with that. Like you don't necessarily have to do the exact same thing twice because you don't have to do it direct. Like we're taking this and shot for shot. You don't have to. You can change it if you want. But a situation where I'm like, this is just called what if because you're like, well, fuck it, we want to do that, but you're ignoring the what ifs that existed.
I'm hyped for the fucking Marvel Zombies, man.
Yeah,
Marvel Zombies.
I like Marvel Zombies, bro. I'm sorry.
Marvel Zombies was an insult. It was somebody talking shit. It'd be like if Nick was supposed to make a comic, and that's what Marvel Zombies is. The guy hated
I like some dark nihilistic satire sometimes, man. I was part of the New Atheist shit. You remember that, my friend?
I know, but it's one of those situations where it's like it's like this creates like, oh, well, Marvel Zombies, but we got to do that. It's like Marvel Zombies was created by somebody that hated Marvel, so he just did a bunch of dumb shit to piss off Marvel fans.
Yeah, and I like that sometimes as a Marvel fan.
I see this,
well,
and I'm like,
I like the idea that Spider-Man, due to the virus making his brain go crazy, he kills Mary Jane. I love that. Sorry, I love the Hulk being a complete fucking scumbag. I do.
Yeah, he is a scumbag. They never do it in the movies, but like, I look at this and I'm like, this to me is it's what ifs were with fan fiction gone wild. But it's like, look at this, like this is like even more fan fiction. It's like you just fucking trolled Reddit for 2 fucking years and go, hey, what are these dumb shit that we can do and get some of the voice actors back to do some stuff? Like, I'll say this, this is T'Challa's last role, so out of like respect, I'll watch the episode just to support. It's like, hey, this is his last role. You give respect to that. But like in general, I don't give a fuck about this what if because it to me, it's like not a single question here. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. It's more of like somebody who got stoned and just like, oh man, no, not even Stone, because Stone would apply some sort of creativity. They're like, we did a what if for Captain America? What do we do? What if Captain America didn't make it? No, we already did that with Tony Stark. What if we got a female Captain America? Yeah. And we'll give Peggy Carter something to do because we barely did anything with her.
You remember that? You remind me of that fucking Family Guy skit. Like, man, how does Steven keep thinking about these jokes, these book titles? He's like, yeah, so there's a lamp, right? And the lamp's evil. Rah! You just
no, but
you're not even trying.
But that's what it is. It's like because like, oh man, what if Tony Stark just didn't exist in the universe? Okay, cool. We can't do that for other heroes because we don't do the same fucking what if. But like, who can we get there? I don't know. People like Killmonger. Put Killmonger there. Why? and then just blank faces as some writer.
You're saying blank faces, but like, we'll find out.
I know, but like, why the fuck?
All right, here's the thing: Killmonger makes sense, just not the way they had it done. Because, like, all right, so if you guys remember Black Panther lore, he actually is part of the military. That's one of the things he talks about. His skills are learned from years of being in covert operation and doing shit across the globe. It does make sense that he will be hired to protect the multi-billionaire through his tour through Afghanistan and be there, but not in the Black Panther outfit.
Exactly.
He will be in a U.S. Army outfit.
Well, that's what I'm thinking
that's
too.
What pissed me off.
Because what if Killmonger's like, listen, like I'm trying to find like the people that fucked up my dad or whatever.
Well,
and
we
then
know
Tony's
that.
like gonna help him, and then like, what if Tony creates like the amazing Black Panther outfit, but he does like we get like an Iron Man version of Black Panther. We might have a better Black Panther than we ever had in that fucking movie.
Well, not necessarily, because if he stops him from getting hit, he doesn't become Iron Man.
Well, no, but
why would
like,
he be?
Well, because Iron Man is just a suit. Like you gotta keep in mind that like his brain is still intact. Like
100%, and he could probably make cool tech, but he wouldn't become Iron Man because the reason he became Iron Man was to stop the shrapnel there, and then he built a suit that powered it on in the cave. That's why he becomes Iron Man.
But I'm just like, fuck Iron Man then. Like, because honestly, I think Black Panther, like the people in Black Panther, are way more entertaining and interesting than Iron Man. Iron Man's just a billionaire who has a lot of cool shit. Like, Wakanda is way more interesting.
I also feel like they're going to use this what if is to kind of set up like the Killmongers like as a cool character because they know people really liked them in the first movie and they really want to milk that character for all it's worth. That's really what that is. Let's be honest.
Or if you actually want to do something extremely creative with this, keep Killmonger evil and then turn Tony Stark evil. Hey, this guy saved my life. Cool. Now I am, because again, the fucking him getting hit humbled him and became a better person. What happens when he came back home? He saw that his weapons were killing people. He stopped making weapons.
No,
if
he got
you
a
don't
burger.
have that, he becomes a different person.
That's true. Okay,
but they're not going to do that because fuck Marvel's not going to sit there and do anything interesting with their fucking.
All right, I got you. I got what for you. He comes back, right? Survives the shrapnel and everything. But instead of becoming Iron Man, he becomes the king of burgers, right? He starts a franchise of different Burger Kings, rivaling other corporate chains.
Yep, he's actually Ray Kroc, the guy who did McDonald's, the founder.
Think about it, Alan. That'd be a great Marvel promotion. You could cross it over Burger King. Nothing but love.
To be honest, you know what's a big what if? And this is very, very basic, and we'll leave after this. But like one what if is like, what if that spider bit anybody else but Peter Parker?
I mean, they do that a lot, actually. Flash Thompson, it's actually, again, that's an extremely interesting one as well. They have a lot of what ifs. I'm not sure if Mary Jane ever got bit, but I know Flash Thompson, like his rival.
That's a great idea right there. Mary Jane getting the powers. That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Like that. See, like that's something you can like. That changes so much, especially the Harry relationship shit. And like, oh, dude, like, I don't know. I'm so fucking hyped for this. Like, I can't. Like, I'm almost mad at myself because I'm gonna be honest. Usually, like, past Nick Diaz from 2016 to last year, I'd be looking at Alan like, see, Alan, you're always, we're right in the middle. We agree, and then you say some dumb shit, and you always want to be a contrarian. I think I'm the contrarian to Alan's thing because I'm like, how the fuck did I like Black Widow and I like the Marvel What If trailer and you don't? It's like, is there something wrong with me? Like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, easily. I was waiting for you to admit it. But it's one of those situations where it's like, I like what ifs, but like, I feel like what ifs are, it's one of those things where you can be so lazy so easily. Like, again, as everyone at this point knows,
everything. That's Winter Soldier. That's the fucking Captain America. That's Iron Man 2 and 3. That's Avengers 2012. That's like fucking, oh God.
Not necessarily in almost everything you just said, but like a situation where it's like when you do what ifs, it's Elseworld. DC does Elseworld stories all the time, and they focus primarily on Batman because fucking it's Batman and he's popular. But like it's all the situation where I actually don't like Elseworld stories that much either. There's a couple that I love, but most of the time it's like, what if they do that? The whole what if. So that way they can just do whatever they want and don't have to deal with any consequences. And if it sucks, well, hey, don't fucking worry about it. But it's always along the same lines of let's kill this character. Let's not have this character exist. Let's just change the fucking origin of this character. And it's like you go through the same 3 cycles, and it's like you're not doing anything that drastically different or that drastically interesting. And in a lot of cases with Marvel, the MCU, most of that shit, a lot of that shit is made up for the movies. Like the fucking MCU might as well be a what if story.
That's true. Yeah, especially the Thanos thing. Like, what if Thanos wasn't so fucking stupid?
What if he was a loser? Like, or sorry, what if he wasn't a loser? And it's like you get a lot of that stuff. A lot of that stuff is what ifs. Like, what if Loki actually became somewhat decent in Ragnarok? So he would do that, and that's what leads to that. It's like a lot of that stuff is what ifs anyway. So it's like, oh, we're doing what ifs again. It's like, I don't know. Maybe again, I don't want to watch it, but I might get forced to watch it, and maybe I'll change my opinion on it. But like, in general, I hate it.
There's one what if that I actually do want to know.
What's up?
Everyone was talking about this. It died down once the movie came out, but it's a big one.
What's up?
What if Ant-Man actually shrunk down?
Oh my god!
Yo,
God
I
damn.
feel you. I feel you, Jet.
That would not matter. That wouldn't do anything.
Yo,
It
that's
probably
that's
will.
the
It'd be
ending
like
I
that
need.
Freddy Krueger scene where in part 2, where like he comes out of Jesse, is like as if Ant-Man comes out of Thanos' ass.
Thanos is an incredibly strong being. It wouldn't work.
That could
But
take
it's
an
his
axe to the
ass.
head.
But it's his ass is strong enough.
Yeah,
It's
and
his
there's
ass
already
that's
Yeah,
strong
his
enough.
whole head would be strong enough. In fact, like a better situation would be Ant-Man going into his skull and expanding, and then essentially killing himself.
Yeah, but that's not funny. You want to give him a humiliating death too.
Yeah, you gotta pop that.
By the
busted-
way, expanding his ass wouldn't work. In fact, once Ant-Man tried, he would get crushed because of the strength of the muscle, and Thanos would just shit him out.
So what you're saying is Thanos' ass is literally so fucking strong and so fucking thick.
Yeah, and
It
incredibly
wouldn't work.
tight.
Well,
I knew that would
love
break him. I knew that would get him.
I'm confused. Anyways, all I'll say is I cannot wait for this fucking show. And I'm gonna trust me, guys, I'm gonna force Alan to watch this because even if it sucks, I get to make fun of Alan for that too. So
We'll watch one episode, and that's a T'Challa episode, and that is it.
No, watch 2. Watch the one with Iron Man and Killmonger, please.
No, because I'm sorry, that's lame. Like Killmonger is cool, but like, oh, what if he joined up with Tony Stark? I literally couldn't care less.
All right.
Hey, this guy that hates white colonization and white capitalism saves a white colonizer and a white capitalist. Like what?
Well, it's part of his job, man.
Well,
Doesn't matter. It's like what?
What if everyone in Marvel got a big, thick fucking ass? Everything was the same except everyone had a big fucking thick
You're not allowed to
ass.
touch the paper. Anyway, so we're out here, guys. Alan, tell them where to find you on that Metropolis
No.
Collective, man.
I'll be yelling about what ifs and
And
what
big fucking titties too.
fucking stupid, dude.
Jesus.
But yeah, it's right here, there, guys. The Metropolis Collective. You know, I guess you guys just had an episode of the conversation. Who was that? Shay?
Shay and basically Shay and actually Jamal, a new person from Lawnarchy, joined the Metropolis. So be sure to check that out. They had a really good conversation about just basically the overall concept of marriage. So be sure to check that out. Follow me on Facebook. The Moobot just did the information. Drop a like on there because we just recorded an episode of Doom Money this morning. So be sure to check. Basically, keep it tuned the next couple of days when that comes out. But yeah, just follow me for all sorts of stuff and follow my Twitter as well. At Birdman Allen, if you just want to hear me yelling about random video game shit.
Oh, yes, people. With that said, we are out of this motherfucker. Really appreciate everything. You guys hanging out with us one and two. It was fun. But go and watch Double Toast and all that good stuff. We will talk to you guys later on. Goodbye. See you for the post after Chris Herman's DT gameplay stream tomorrow. I'm going to be playing some more Mortal Kombat as well as maybe a Call of Duty thingy because lots of shit's happening there. So, bye-bye. See ya. Stay toasty. Yeah, you open that goddamn door.
I'm going to open the door.